guys. D-Dank44. Let me see if you hear me well. Here with the new video. Alright, let me see if you can hear. Hello? Alright, I think you can hear. Chilling, chilling. Cool. Got a new video idea. From the title, I'm going to be reading the Book of Enoch. I thought about reading the whole thing. Ethiopian Bible. I wonder how that looks. Is it mirrored on my... Hopefully it's not mirrored. Or... Let's see how it looks. I had a problem last time. Everything being backwards and shit. Alright, we're cool. So I copped this a month ago or two. Haven't really read into it. Lost Books of the Bible, 88. Ethiopian Bible. In English complete. Now I bought it because I wanted to read Book of Enoch. I was just gonna buy the book itself, no other books. But I thought, why not? It's not that expensive. I got it for like $30, 40. I didn't get that. It wasn't that much. I'm surprised. Complete Apocryphy, the Book of Enoch, and the Book of Wisdom. Pretty hyped up. Now I wasn't deciding whether I should just start from the beginning because I know it's important. Because yeah, you could read a book by itself, one of the books by itself, but I feel like you got to read the whole thing to understand the context. Because they bring up stuff from other books, other chapters, books. So I'm kind of worried that it's gonna reference something from the book before. Let's look at the table of contents. My bad for my pronunciation. There's a bunch. It's a different language, culture. It's gonna be a little hard to pronounce. So it does start with Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth. Enoch is in between Jubilees and Ezra. Let me compare it to my normal like King James Bible. I'm gonna have a few different kind of Bibles. Give me a sec. All right, I'm gonna show you the Bible I grew up reading. I grew up reading the New Jerusalem Bible. These are very hard to find. For my church, they told us that they found some in England, the UK, I think, like 60,000 copies or something, like brand new. But these are really hard to come by. Pretty glad. I like this version a lot from the King James. Some differences I could think off the top of my head is the Book of Daniel. In this one, they reference a living real dragon that Daniel kills by feeding it a ball of hair and like oils and fat or something like that, and it just explodes and kills it. Well as the new King James version, I believe they don't have The living dragon. They have like the statue and everything. I think that's the biggest difference. I'm gonna look at the books and see how many are different from the new King James version. Do I have a King James? I believe I do. My bad. Let me look at the chat too. So this is the one I grew up reading. As you can see, I have a bunch of bookmarkers in it. I like the way it's the language. It's modern day like lingo. I don't like New King James because it's like Shakespearean, very thy and all that stuff. I don't like. It's like old language, old English type of style. I don't like. Here, all right, I got my chat open. So this is when I grew up reading, and I'm gonna compare the books and see how many they have and how much they don't have from each other. Which one's this one? This is NK New King James Version. I don't know if you can see that. New King James Version. I was gifted this one, I think. Was I? Yeah, I was gifted this one. It has a bunch of like little notes. It's the Shakespearean. I don't like King James. It's like too Shakespearean. Kind of hard to like understand, keep up with. Like a lot of word twisters. I don't like. And then there's a whole argument translations. Do they really mean this? Because this translated right. But like translation is translation. I spoke to someone about that who did all that translating stuff. Some languages are not going to have the same words as other languages or have words for specific things. If that makes sense. So we got that. I'm going to compare this one to my New Jerusalem, and then we'll see what it has, what it doesn't have from the Ethiopian Bible that I just bought. And which one's version is this? New American Standard Bible. NASB. Another one. Did I buy this one? Yeah, I bought this one. I remember. Big words, easy to read. Let me compare the books now. I believe like I believe the King James and American Standard Bibles, like they all have the same amount of books. I could be wrong. All right, let's compare it now. Take a little time, but bear with me. I need to buy a podium. I've been wanting to buy one. The intro. Come on, where's the table of context? What the hell? Hold up. Preface to the New King James. Is it New King James Version? I want to say that it is. What the heck? Okay. Okay. American Standard Version versus the New King James Bible. Let me compare the books. They both have Genesis, of course. I'm pretty sure all Bibles are gonna have Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Judges, Ruth, First Samuel, Second Kings, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, Ezra, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastic, Songs of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. It seems to be all the same. Hold up. Did I miss one? No. Same order. Okay. Sepha, Haggai. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Some of them are kind of crazy to pronounce. Malachi. Then we get to New Testament. I'm pretty sure that's going to be all the same. Acts, Romans, Corinthians, Peter, John. So these two are the same. These two have the same amount of books, the same kind of books inside of them. Now I'm comparing the Bible I grew up reading with the New King James Version. See how many books they have, see if they all have the same kind of books. Alright. Alright, I'm starting to compare them. They seem to have the same amount. Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel, Ezra, Chronicles, Ezra. Wait. Tobit. Okay, I found one that the New King James Version doesn't have compared to the one I grew up reading. Book of Chronicles. They have that. 1 and 2. Ezra. I don't see it. Where was it? Okay, I found the differences. I found the New Jerusalem Bible has books of Tobit and Judith. While as the New King James Version does not have Tobit and Judith, the book of Tobit and Judith. Does it? Yeah, I don't see it in New King James Version. I like the book of Tobit a lot. It's a good story. It's a really good story. Father goes blind, son has to go recover money for the father. It's a whole love story. Tragedy, but turns to positivity. I like it a lot. Maccabees. Maccabees. The New Jerusalem Bible has that, and the New King James Version doesn't have Maccabees. I don't know how to pronounce it. Maccabees. Maccabees. There's 1 and 2 books, first and second. The Book of Wisdom. And the New Jerusalem Bible has the Book of Wisdom, whereas the New King James Version, I don't see the Book of Wisdom anywhere. Interesting. The Ethiopian Bible has the Book of Wisdom as well. Interesting, interesting. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you. Wisdom, the prophets, Jeremiah, Baruch. And then the prophets, this one, the New Jerusalem Bible has a lot more than the New King James Version. Like Baruch, Baruch. Jeremiah. Does it? I could be wrong. I'm looking at this right now, the charts. No, no, no. That's just a quick. Okay. Denominations, Baruch, Mackay, Amos. That one has Amos. Yeah, Baruch is not in the New King James Version. Nahum. Interesting, interesting. And the New Testament's gonna be the same. Now, New Testament, I'm sure all of them are all gonna have the same New Test. Every Bible's gonna have the New Testament like all the same. It's the Old Testament. There are like so many books for the Old Testament, like so many of them. Like I just read a few of them that are not included in the New James King James version compared to the one I grew up reading. All right, let's jump into it. I'm just gonna stick to Enoch today. Let's open this bad. Dude, this is a textbook I have in my hand. I think it's fat. Wisdoms. Now I spoke with one of the elders from my church, and he told me that it's not that they don't include a lot of those books because they're like not true or not real or they don't believe in it. They don't include them because it's like they don't see it as important to study or to focus on. You can get like a lot of new a lot of Christian denominations just focus on the New Testament. They don't really focus on the Old. Yeah, there's a lot. They have the Book of Jude in here, I think, as well. Let me see. Yeah, I want to say I learned that that book is like hearsay. There's a lot of books too that are like hearsay, blasphemy. Do they have Jude? They do. Wait. So does the new one. What am I talking about? Does it? It doesn't. So a lot of Bibles don't have the Book of Jude, which makes sense. Wait. Yeah, they do. I'm tripping. But it's not Judas. Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Judas. Saint Jude is somebody else. My bad. Or Jude. An apostle, or was he this? He was an apostle, I think. Judas. I don't think he has one. Judges, Jubilees, Judah, Job. Susanna. Bell and the Dragon. That sounds badass. Jonah. No, I think there is a book of Judas, but I think that was one of the hearsays, the blasphemy during the Nin's Creed, during that time and everything, when they're like trying to figure out all that stuff. Because when Christianity started, hundreds and hundreds of denominations were created. A lot of them hearsay, blasphemy, Gnostic. We get into the Gnostic Bibles and all that stuff. Controversial, like Bibles and everything, books. There's like a Mary Magdalene and all that stuff, or crazy stuff like that. All right, let's start reading. All right. Jeez, weasel. All right. Enoch, Enoch, Enoch. 235. Let me go. All right, the Book of Enoch. Oof. Let me find a good position to read it in. Hopefully, you can hear me well. All right. The words of the blessing of Enoch. Wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in heavens, which the angel showed me. And from them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, which is for more to come. Which is for to come. My bad, bro. I'm not the best reader, but I haven't read in a fat minute. Gotta work that muscle more out, more the reading muscle. So the words of the blessing of Enoch. So this is Enoch speaking, right? And is this God referring to Enoch as being a righteous man? Angel showed me from the heaven I've heard everything. Believe this is Enoch speaking now. From then I understood and as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one, which is for it to come. And they do have the footnotes, the numbers I could go look at. I don't know where to go look that up. I don't know if it's in the back of the book. I like it when they have like the little footnotes on the bottom of the page or something, but it's a whole textbook, so I understand why they're not gonna have it all on one page. Continuing on. So that was verse 3. I was verses 1 through 3. Continuing. Concerning the elect I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear from his camp, and appear in the strength of his might, from heaven of heavens, and all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake. Now, this is why I wanted to read it because it talks about the watchers, which I think they're the angels, like Michael, Raphael, and all them. We'll get into it. I'm sure they're gonna explain the heavens smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth, and the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame, and the earth shall be wholly rent and shudder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men, but with the righteous he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them. Yeah, this reminds me of Revelations, where it talks about all the angels with the bowls and pouring out the bowls on the oceans, the land, affecting people with swords, killing everything in the oceans. And the only ones that are going to be saved are the ones who pray for forgiveness, repent, and those who just continue on to be angry at God, um, curse God. They're going to be, you know, left with these afflictions. All right. Earth, they shall be judged by the men, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them, and they shall all belong to God, and they shall be prospered, and they shall all be blessed, and he will help them all. And light shall appear unto them, and he will make peace with them. And behold, he cometh with 10,000 of his holy ones to execute judgment upon all. Yeah. They get into this in Revelations, where all the apostles, um the armies in heaven are gonna come and help God judge the world, separate the wheat from the weeds on Judgment Day and all that stuff. Where did I leave off? To execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly. To destroy all the ungodly, and to conflict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness. Wait, sorry. And to convict all flesh of all the works of the ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Observe ye everything that takes place in heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the transgress. Wait. Sorry. My bad. I need to pat my finger down. It's hard to keep up with one hand. Hold up. It's a big book too. All right. Let me scooch over here. All right. I need a bookmarker or something. Here, let me grab something to help me with. Okay. I think it's gonna work out well now. Where was I? Okay, here I am. Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven. How do they not change their orbits? And the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they are arise and set in order, each in its own season, and transgress not against their appointed order. That was a little confusing to read, my bad. Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all arise and set in order, each in its own season, and transgress not against their appointed order. Behold ye the earth, and give heed to things which take place upon it from first to last. how steadfast they are, how none of the things upon earth change, but all the works of God appear to you. Behold, the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, and clouds and dew and rain lie upon it. Observe and see how, in the winter, all the trees seem as though they have withered and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees, which do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 to 3 years till the new ones come. What trees are you talking about? What plants? Let me think. I can think of like pine trees, right? That stay pretty green all year, winter, fall. I can think of pines. What other kind of plants? Old foliage from 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I think of pine trees a lot when I hear that. Pine. What other trees? 14 trees. And again, observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth, over against it, and you seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun. And the earth also burns with growing heat, and so you cannot tread on the earth or on the rock by reason of its heat. So he's just explaining like God's creation, the natural order of things, right? And I'm assuming they're gonna get into the unnatural order of things, the ungodly things that humans were doing, manipulating, distorting, um, manipulating. What's that one word? Um, distorting God's original work, corrupting God's original work. I can think of chemtrails. That's ungodly, right? Human manipulation of the weather with chemtrails and other things. I believe they have like lasers now. They have like lasers that shoot the atmosphere and burn holes in the atmosphere, letting all the bad radiation and shit from the sun come in, right? My bad for cursing. I shouldn't be cursing right now. It's just how I talk though. This is real. You know? Just got can't curse God, you know? I ain't gonna try doing that anymore. I used to do that when I was a kid. Hell no. Back to where we were reading. Observe ye how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Wherefore give ye heed and know with regard to all his works, and recognize how he that liveth forever hath made them so. And all his works go on thus from year to year forever. And all the tasks which they accomplished for him, and their task change not, but according as God hath ordered, so it is done. And behold now the sea and the rivers in the like manner accomplish and change not their task from his commandments. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord. But ye have turned away and spoken proud and hard works, with your impure mouths against his greatness. O ye hard hearted, ye shall find no peace. Therefore shall ye extract, execrate, execrate your days, and the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration. Let me look up that word. Thank goodness for technology. I could look up meanings and definitions. Execration. Ex where was it? Execrate. Loathing for. Curse, swear, loathe, hate. Okay. I got that gist. I got the gist. I got the gist. continue on. So is he just explaining how, like, if you don't like the weather, you get mad at the weather, you blame God for the weather and shit, the natural things of things, you know? I kind of see what it means. Respect Mother Nature, respect what God created. And the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration, and ye shall find no mercy. I'm telling you, it reminds me of the chemtrails. Manipulating the weather for our own liking, not liking the natural order of things, the natural weather, and manipulating it for a lot of it's for business now, agriculture, making money, selling crops and everything. And ye shall find no mercy. We can get to pollution too, probably, huh? Yeah, pollution. Ye shall make your names of eternal execration unto all the righteous. And by you shall all who curse. And by you shall all who curse. And all the sinners and godless shall imprecate you. Imprecate you. Imprecate. Let's look at what imprecate means. Imprecate. A spoken curse. Why couldn't they just say that? I get it. They want to sound all. So, 2 words for cursing or loathing. Imprecate and the one we just learned earlier. Wait, what was it? Execrate. Shall curse you. And all the sinners and godless shall curse you. Shall curse by you. I guess. And for you, the godless, there shall be a curse. And all the shall rejoice. It just has ... shall rejoice. And there shall be forgiveness of sins, and every mercy and peace and forbearance. There shall be salvation unto them, a goodly light. And for all of you sinners, there shall be no salvation. But on you all shall abide a curse. But for the elect, there shall be light and joy and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. And then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom, and they shall all live and never again sin, either through ungodliness or through pride. Pride's a big thing. Pride is what everyone has, It's what gets us mad at other people, thinking we're better than other people, judging other people. Pride. Pride is the cause for hurting yourself, not being humble, pushing yourself to the limit, which I know is not always a bad thing, but with pride, if it's a lot of pride you're doing it for, what's that one phrase? What's that one thing? Um, Pride comes before the fall or something like that. I forgot what. I forgot how it goes. The bigger they are, the greater they fall. Straight up, the bigger you think you are and everything, the greater you're gonna fall. But they who are wise shall be humble, and they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin all the days of their life, nor shall they die of the divine anger of wrath. But they shall complete the number of days of their life. They shall complete the number of days of their life, and their lives shall be increased in peace. and the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life. Enoch chapter 6. Sorry, I should be saying all that, the chapters and everything. And it came to pass when the children of men had manipulated, and it came to pass when the children of men multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Samjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all abide ourselves by mutual imprecations, curses, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear, then swore they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. Whoa, 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 whoa. So they're talking about the Nephilim making the pact. Now they were aware that they were about to do a grave, grave thing, a big sin, and they all agreed upon it. Let me look up some of these words. Was that the same word we just looked up earlier? Where is it? Imprecation. A spoken curse. Or the act of cursing. Yo, so they created a curse. A spell, pretty much. They just compiled, like they were aware of what they were doing. Let me read that again. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, and in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters, and the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza, who I'm assuming Satan, that's kind of, I never heard that term, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual curse, pretty much, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swore they all together and bound themselves by mutual curse upon it. I'm just going to say it, simplify it for y'all. And they were in all 200. 200 spirits, angels of heaven? Is this the start of the wars in heaven? Were these the rebellion in heaven? That's what it sounded like, the beginning of the rebellion. 200 of them. That's a lot. Who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual curse upon it. So that mountain is cursed. Let me look up that mountain. Mount Hermon. Shit. My bad. I could be doing this up here. Yeah, let me get this window open for y'all. I heard something recently. Okay. It's in Asia. Yo. Mount range in the eastern Lebanon mountain range, stabbing the borders of Syria, Lebanon, and Israel, occupied by Golan Heights. It is the highest point in both Syria and Israel, reaching currently is known as the highest point in snowfall and snowy peaks. This reminds me of Olympus, Mount Olympus. Now I know that exists, right? It's the Bronze Age mentioned in the Bible. Ancient temples. Location of Jesus' transfiguration. Wait, I went there. I'm an idiot. Did I? No. That's a speculation. I went somewhere else. Wait, did we go there? I think I went there when I went on a pilgrimage to Israel, Palestine. I went to both. We went to the Jordan, the Dead Sea, which was in Palestine. Was it Palestine? My bad. My bad if I'm getting the locations wrong. Border Syria, Lebanon, Israel, occupied Golan. Yeah, I want to say I was there. We went to the spot for the transfiguration, but I don't think it was this one, was it? Let's look it up. Yeah, this is the church I went to. I remember that. We were there. I was up there. I remember that. Standing in front of that door and everything. It was a pretty high mountain. Was it that one though? Let me look up the location. Mount Tabar. Yeah, it was a different mountain. Yeah, locations and everything are a little weird. Geography, like the exact locations of many of the events that happened in the Bible. Marks the northern boundary of Promised Land on the part of the territory conquered by Joshua. Pagan worship, Temple Caesar Philippi, and the Mount Summit. Hmm. Because there's two locations of the tomb of Christ. And it's debated which is the real location. Geopolitics. I'm sure it gets into all that, which I hate and all that stuff, but let's continue on. Who descended in the. Okay. And they were in all 200. What time is it? My bad. There's more check. Let me go back to my chat. My bad if I'm not looking at the chat. There's nobody even here. Okay, they were aware together. Okay, back to that one part. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecation upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Semiazaz, and their leader Arakiba. Oh my goodness. Arakiba, Ramel, Kokabel, Tamil, Ramil, Samspiel, Saturel, Terrell, Jomgel. I don't know how to pronounce these, my bad. Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens. Chiefs of tens. Whoa. So each of them had 10 people. Each of them were in charge of 10 people? Let me do the math. 10, 20. Wait. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. Yeah. This equals 200, right? Could be wrong. Okay, it maths up, I think. I could just count them, see if there's 21. There was one more, wasn't there? And 20, the first guy we read, Samzel, where? Samjaza. Okay. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go into them and defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they become pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells. 3,000 ells? Oh crap! How tall is that? 3,000 ells to feet. What? That's a real 25,000 feet tall? 11,000 feet. These were giant. These were titans, bro. Nah, what? Raj, I'll show you right now. Look at this. I don't want to show my URL and all that stuff. Crazy. Jeez Louise. They were no joke. And they taught them mysticism, magic, with the herbs and all that stuff, right? Hmm. Cutting roots. They made acquainted with plants. Okay. Alchemy, right? Like magic, potions, and all that stuff. They became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height were 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of man. And when man could no longer sustain them, jeez, they were eating people, bro. The giants turned against them and devoured mankind. Wait, what does that mean? Acquisitions of men? Like all their supplies and shit? Let me look it up. Could have looked it up here, my bad. Like offerings, right? It reminds me of yeah, like gathering stuff and shit for them, like offerings. Wait, accusation, acquisitions, purchase, ascension, obtaining, acquiring. Yeah, I'm assuming like food and everything of man, their crops and everything. Like if they were unsatisfied and began to devour men, they sin against birds, animals. I'm assuming procreating with them as well, right? Let me see. Let me see this real quick. This is a little confusing. Now, do they mean like literally or like spiritually taking their energy? Does that make sense? Their knowledge, like feeding off of their knowledge, energy. Let me look into it. Or something that is obtained. I'm looking up the Bible. Maybe they might help us. Biblical definition. The act of obtaining or gaining something, whether material possession, spiritual blessings, or wisdom. Yeah. Okay, I'm understanding it now. So they don't really need food to sustain themselves, right? They're demonic. They're spirits at the end of the day. So I'm assuming they're just feeding off of our energy, our emotions. They're speaking on the Nephilim, right? The spirits, not the giants. Their creation, right? Yeah. These are speaking on the spirits now. No, they're talking about the giants still. They became pregnant and they bared great giants whose height was 3,000 elis, who consumed all the acquisition of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink their blood. The earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. Accusation. Let me look at that. Accusation. A change or claim that someone has done something illegal or wrong. I like this a lot because at the end of the day, it teaches us that we're all victims pretty much. We're all victims. It wasn't our fault. We humans weren't the ones who created witchcraft and black magic and many other sinful things, right? It was these beings from the skies who came down and taught us abominations in the eyes of God, right? Abominable, ungodly things. I'm assuming when he says when they got tired of man, like procreating with man, eating man, I assume as well. Because I think of the Peruvian giants, and there's one explorer who there's stories about like the natives and everything of Peru would tell you like there was giants. It was like in the 1400s. Let me look it up. It was in Peru. Was it Peru? I think it was Peruvian. Now these are just stories, right? The Peruvian giants refer to fascinating mystery surrounding the Moche civilization in Peru. Archaeologists have discovered the remains of several individuals who were significantly larger than typical Muchi people, leading the question that their origins and reasons. There's this one explorer who like came across a story. Here, let me show you. There's just one photo who has a little explanation of it. Well, I heard like he was like from the 1400s or something like that. Was it Peru? I think it was. And then he came across the cave. So the natives were saying like all these giants died a long time ago, but their bodies, their mummified bodies, are still in the cave over there. You want to go check it out? Go check it out. And he goes to check it out, and he actually finds like giant bodies sitting in like chairs. They had red hair, typical like what we hear like how they look like giants are red haired, two rows of teeth, like six fingers, stuff like that, right? And the stories they told this guy was when they were alive, they would have to sacrifice people to them to keep them satisfied, to keep them from pretty much destroying and killing all of them in the village, right? So they would give them women too to have sex with, try because they were all men. The giants were all men, and they were getting old, and they were worried that they weren't gonna be able to procreate anymore, right? Because I think all the women of theirs like passed away or something like that. So to pass on the next generation, they were trying to procreate with with man, with women, with humans. So they'd give them human women, and they'll try procreating with them, but they would just end up killing them in the process because they're too big. Where was I? Because they're too big, and so they just end up eating them too and everything, right? But it reminds me of that what I'm reading right now. But these are the giants, not necessarily Nephilim themselves, the spirits, right? Because it's the spirits that created the giants, and these same spirits that it's saying right now. And they began to sin against birds, beasts, and reptiles, which I'm assuming is, sexual, immoral sins, right? Because we eat animals, right? We can't call that a sin, but they're referring to something else now. So they start procreating not just with man, they get bored with us, and they start expanding. And that's where I believe you get a lot of animal hybrids, humanoid hybrids. You get mermaids, centaurs, Greece, the pharaohs, the Egyptians. They had gods with human animal heads and bodies, human bodies. Bird heads, crocodile heads, but human bodies. Werewolves. We can go on and on and on about all these other cryptids. I believe these are the origins of all this. This is where we get all from demons and shit. In demonology, many demons are human animal hybrids. You get the goat head with the man with the goat head. You get a lot of that stuff. Vampires drinking human blood. Now he's saying one of them. And Azazel, Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working with them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of and anatomy, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all the coloring tinctures. Vanity. They taught us vanity. They taught us war and vanity, violence. The origins of violence in man, of vanity, of wanting to look better than other people, right? Greater than other people, look more powerful than other people, stronger than other people, right? Zazo? That is a known demon name, I believe. I believe in like exorcisms. They brought it up one. I watched a bunch of that stuff, and one of the names the priest brought up was like that name, I think. Crazy. Coloring tinctures. Yeah, you get the Egyptians, the Greeks, they were so obsessed with that. Beauty, looking good. I want to say Nephilims in Africa too, demons and everything, they look like gestures, clowns, red hair, two rows of teeth. Like I'm talking about the black and white clothing, the it kind of style clothing. That's where clowns come from, Africa, like witchcraft and everything. Look into it. There's a bunch of channels. I could probably mention some. I'll look into them. I'll have videos about them one day. A bunch of the channels I like and everything. This one dude, he gets into all kinds of Nephilim clowns. The Nephilim are clowns and everything. They look like clowns and all that stuff. Demons. I sound crazy, but I trust. And there arose much godliness, and they committed fornication. Yep. What up? And were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Samjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm already loving this book so much. On some Skyrim stuff. Right in our faces, they put it like in our faces. Skyrim, Lord of the Rings. Even in the movie Noah with Russell Crowe, if I'm correct, if I remember that correctly. Was it Russell Crowe? Was it him in the movie Noah? They get into all the abominations with giant rock monsters, human hybrids, the monsters and all that stuff, right? In mythology and root cuttings. Armaros, the resolving of enchantments. Baraquiqual, I don't know how to taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. And in Ancient Aliens they explain this too, how the gods came from the skies and Egypt, Greece, they came from the skies. The gods taught them astrology and all that stuff. Space. Space has to be real then. A lot of people give Christianity crap for like believing flat earth, no space, right? Um Space has to be real. That is weird. That is a weird topic to get into now. So they were kicked out of heaven, right? For rebelling. They go to earth. No, no, no. In the days of Noah, during the floods, did they just go to space? Oh, we're out. We're going to escape the wrath and just dip out to space, right? Maybe they already did that too. They've always been going in and out of space, right? These demons, these beings from the skies. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Araquel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. That's where you get sun worship, earth worship, moon worshiping, I bet. The astrology and all that stuff. The course of the moon. And of course, these gods aren't going to tell. These gods, these beings, these fallen angels, they want to become gods themselves. They're jealous of the true God. They just want to become gods themselves. They don't want people finding out the truth that there is one true God, one true powerful God, created all. They don't want us finding out that truth. They want us worshiping them as gods. They want us believing in many gods, right? They're not going to mention the one true God, right? Otherwise, that defeats and destroys their agenda of becoming gods. Sariel, the course of the moon, moon worship. Azrael, Mentry on Synthos. It reminds me of that shit right now. I don't know why. And man perish, And as man perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. I love this book. I'm liking this a lot already. I'm really, really liking this a lot. Because I'm into that stuff. I've always loved that mythological unknown. I've always been into that. I regret as a kid just never taking the time to read the Bible myself, you know? I was immature. I'm just a kid, you know? No, I don't know any better. I wasn't open minded. I still have trouble being open minded a lot of times, right? But I feel like I'm more open minded as a person. I'm not quick to brush something off, you know? I like entertaining ideas, thoughts. I just like I just like, you know, asking the questions people don't want to ask or just asking the questions nobody really thinks of. Let's continue. I'm really loving this. They're explaining a lot of their things that are why we what we have today. It explains a lot of these ancient gods that we learn in different kind of cultures and religions. Okay, these are the good angels, right? The non-fallen angels they're going to get into right now. So we're in chapter 9. Where am I with time? What time is it? I got to go work in a bit. Nah, not in a bit, in a few hours. How long is this book? Let me see real quick. How many chapters are we going to get through? Okay, there's 75. Section 4, the dream vision. Okay, there's a lot. What section am I on? Section 1. So we're just on section 1. What did I see? I didn't see the section 2 right there, the parables. All right. I'm going to use the restroom. Take a break on that real quick. Give me a sec. I'm on chapter 9. So section 2 starts with chapter 37. I'm going to end it chapter 36. Give me a sec. One thing I want to talk about. Oh, I don't want to put this on. Hold up. My bad. Test? Okay. One thing I want to talk about is now many of you might feel like these fallen angels, they taught us some pretty cool stuff, right? Some pretty useful stuff, right? Some of the things some of the things they taught us bad, such as war. and greed and vanity. But one thing people might get offended by, because many people love Mother Nature and all that stuff, right? Some people may be like, well, that medicinal stuff, that root, that alchemy, it's for healing. Well, remember, the reason why God didn't teach us that stuff because there was no need to. God didn't create us to die. He created us to live, not to live and die, but just to live. Sin equals death. Death is sin. The devil, however you want to call him, the fallen one, created death, created sin. And they introduced all that to us. We were always meant to never die. Death was never part of God's agenda for us. It's always just been life. You get these jealous beings who don't like that idea, who want to curse us and bring that death upon us. It all stems from jealousy because when God created us, many of those many of the rebellion started, right? Like, I don't know when that actually started. I have to look into more of that. The rebellion in heaven, the wars in heaven. But I'm assuming it comes from the jealousy that God created us in his image and his liking. And I'm sure the Satan saw that and was like, "What? What? You gave them a whole planet for themselves? What? You said they're in your liking? I thought we were your angels, right? What?" I'm sure that pissed him off in a way and got jealous. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to take that away. I'm going to take that life away from them. I'm going to introduce death. I'm going to introduce sin." You know? I'm going to introduce disease, magic. I'm going to get them to curse themselves without even realizing it. That's just how I see it. So remember, like, God created everything perfect. We don't need to know about the stars. We don't need to know about what plants help us heal, what plants help us get better. We didn't need to know about all that stuff because God created everything perfectly, right? He created us all to live. Death was never part of God's plan for us. It was never part of his plan. There's a war going on, guys. Remember that. A war for our souls, our lives, eternal life, and eternal death. There's a war between those two. Eternal death being Satan, eternal life being God, Jesus Christ. They were just trying to convince us that they are the true gods. Because remember, they want to be gods. They're jealous of the one true God. So they're going to introduce all this stuff to make it seem like, oh, see, like we know so much. Look, we're gods. Look what we're doing for you. We're introducing stuff. Your lives are so boring. Why don't you guys look better? Or why don't you guys get into obsessed with how you look? It's so boring just having no problems. Come on, guys. Like, it's so boring having no competition amongst each other. Come on, like, and that's why they introduce all this stuff to create division, to create pride, like it said earlier. Am I getting somewhere with this? I hope I am. All right, let's continue on. Chapter 9. Okay. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth. Because they taught us about war, metals. Bro, like I said, the Anunnaki were obsessed with gold. And I'm pretty sure, it just made us realize, oh, we should be obsessed with gold too. These are the gods. We should do what the gods are. Like it comes down from that, like worshiping, idolizing the wrong thing, idolizing the wrong people, the wrong things, and doing everything in your power to become just like them, even if it means hurting other people, harming other people, bringing other people down, just so you could be on the come up. They taught us greed, vanity. Sorry for repeating myself a lot, but I'm okay. And all the lawlessness, and then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all the lawlessness being upraught upon the earth. And they said to one another, The earth made without inhabitants, the earth made without inhabitants, cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, the God of the ages, the throne of thy glory, standeth unto all the generations of all the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou. And all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. The true God, I am. Thou seest what Azel hath done, who hath brought all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. Oh, that gets into the apple too. The tree of was it knowledge? The one tree that God said do not eat from. There's no need for you guys to know all this. I created you to be at peace, living peaceful lives, to not worry. This is knowledge you don't need to know. This is knowledge you don't need to worry about. Just be happy with what I've given you. I've given you everything you needed: food, plants, each other. Because he was talking about Adam and Eve, right? I gave you each other, company. I gave you everything you needed to be comfortable. Do not get greedy. Do not get greedy. Do not get prideful. And that's how the devil tricked them. The serpent, the snake. Eat this and you'll know all the knowledge. You'll be like God himself. Look at yourselves like, come on, you want to be better? Don't you want to be better? Oh, and that's where vanity came from as well. Because once they ate the apple, they realized they were naked. They realized they need to dress good. They need to look good. They can't be looking like this. Like, vanity. Interesting. Azrael hath done, who hath taught all their unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Semjaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon earth, and have slept with women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold the souls of those who have died in crying, and making their suit to the gates of heaven. And their lamentations have ascended. It cannot cease because of the lawlessness deeds which are wrought on earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass. And thou seest things, and and thou dost suffer them. That's a little hard to read. And thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these. Okay. That was a little hard to keep up with that line, but continue on. This book is so big and hard to hold. I didn't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to the spine of the book. Okay, chapter 10. Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One spake. Spoke? That's a typo, right? Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One spoke, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah and tell him in my name, hide thyself. So it is around that time. So Enoch and Noah existed around the same time. That's cool to know. That's cool to know. Hide thyself and reveal to him. Yo! I know why. I know why these spirits taught man astrology, technology. I'm starting to realize they did all that because they're spirits, right? Yeah, some of them became physical beings, giants, and everything, right? And all of a different kind of bondage. But the powerful ones were spirits, the angels that the fallen angels I just read out to you guys. They were spirit form, and I'm assuming they need physical form. Nah, I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking they taught us. I'm sure it's for us to create technology for them, or use our physical bodies to create technologies, right? Because they're spiritual at the end of the day. They need a physical body to affect what's physical in this world, right? This is what I'm thinking of right now. So I'm assuming they told us all this because they saw it coming. They knew the pact they made was a curse and they were going to face the consequences. We read that earlier. You heard me read that earlier. Like they were aware like it was going to come with grave consequences for coming down to earth, procreating with man, corrupting man. And so they taught us all this so that so that they could go to space when the flood comes. So they flee to space. I heard this, if I remember correctly, they also fled in the inner Earth to get all the inner Earth, hollow Earth conspiracies as well. But I'm pretty sure they went both in space, underground. That's crazy. I don't know. Where are we? Where are we? Where's Noah? Go to Noah and tell him in my name, hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole world will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all generations of the world. And again, the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel's hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudal, and cast him therein. Dudal? Where's Dudal? A desert in Dudal. What? Ooh, 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 ooh. Let me look that up. Dudal. Dudael. Dudael? Derived from Hebrew terms meaning cauldron of God, is described in the book of Enoch as a place imprisonment of fallen Israel. Play as if was fallen. Persian watchers with the entrance of the east of Jerusalem considered dwell the region under Tartarus or Guyana. What the hell? Is that it? Dudao. Where would that be at in modern day? In modern day. Hold on, what was that I just saw right there? There's this one. Dudao, the land of Indra. Hmm. So it's like an Asian area. India. Tower of Babel. Dudao. Hmm. And cast them therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. And on the day of judgment, on the day of great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire, and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted. Hmm. And proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. Wait, are the watchers bad then? Yeah, I have to read earlier. I might have missed it in the last. That's why I wanted to read the whole thing for like. That's why I wanted to do it chronological order, so I can see when all this comes up, right? Because the watchers, they're probably in the mentioned in the book before this. The history, they probably get into the history before this. So I gotta go read back. That their sons and the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribed all sin. And to Gabriel said the Lord, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication. So fornication was like the biggest sin these demons were committing. The hybrids, the human hybrids, animal hybrids. Man, the guy with the pig heart? Bro, is that blasphemous? Some guy had the pig heart. He died. He didn't last that long. He only lasted like a year with the pig heart. And destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst the men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have, and no request that they, their fathers, make of these shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf. For they hope to live in eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, Go, bind Semjaza and his associates, who have united themselves with women, so as to defile themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, to the day of judgment and of their consummation, till judgment that is forever and ever in consummated. Forever is consummated. Sorry for the pronunciation. It's a little confusing right now. Okay. 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 Let me see. Let me see that one more time. To their father's behalf, they hope to live the eternal life. Lord said to unto Michael. He's kind of explaining they were obsessed with living forever eternally. I'm pretty sure as gods themselves, right? You know, if you idolize someone who wants to become a god, you're end up you're gonna probably end up adopting the same beliefs, right, as those you idolize. So it makes sense. And then you get the bloodlines. They're getting into bloodlines now of many of these fallen angels and many people who ended up just giving in and worshiping them, doing their bidding. These are probably the pharaohs, the kings, the emperors throughout the ages. I mean, they tell you in Egypt, pharaohs are chosen by the gods, right? These bloodlines. In Greece, too, chosen by the gods, these bloodlines. In those days, they shall be led off to the abyss of fire and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. Right. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations, and destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every work come to an end, and let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. And then shall all the righteousness escape. And then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they begot thousands of children, and all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. It reminds me of God's children will be as many as the sands of earth. And then shall the whole earth be tilted in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it, and the vine which the plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. And as for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all ungodliness, and all uncleanliness that is wrought upon the earth. Destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration, and shall praise me, and shall all worship me. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation. And I will never again send them upon it from generation to generation, and forever. And in those days I will open the store chambers of blessings, which are in the heavens, so as to send them down upon the earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And the truth and peace shall be associated together throughout all the days of the world, and throughout all generations of men. Before these things Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden, and where he abode, and what had become of him. And his activities had to do with the watchers, and his days were with the holy ones. And I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of majesty and the King of all the ages. And lo, the watchers called me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness, go declare to the watchers of the heaven who have left the high heaven and holy eternal place, and have defiled themselves with women. Oh, so watchers in heaven, and then the ones that fell are not considered watchers or like evil watchers now of earth. Okay, so okay, I'm kind of understanding it. And have done as the children on earth do, and have taken unto themselves wives. Ye have wrought great destruction on earth, and ye shall have no peace, nor forgiveness of sin. And inasmuch as they delight themselves in their children, the murder of the beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lamentate, and shall make supplication unto eternity. But mercy and peace shall ye not attain. He talking about the evil ones. That's what's up. They don't deserve the peace. And Enoch went and said, Azazel, thou shalt not have no peace, and serve sentence has gone forth against thee to put thee in bonds. And thou shalt not have toleration, nor request grant to thee, because of the unrighteousness which thou hast thought, and because of all the works of godliness and unrighteousness and sin which thou hast shown to men. Then I went to spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid, and fear and trembling seized them. And they besought me to draw up a petition for them, that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. And from thenceforth they could not speak with him, nor lift up their eyes to heaven for shame of their sins, for which they have been condemned. When I wrote out their petition and the prayer in regard to the spirits and their deeds individually, and in regard to the request that they shall have forgiveness in length of days. And I went off and sat down at the waters of Dan, and in the land of Dan, to the south of the west of Hermon. I read their petition till I fell asleep, and behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell down upon me, and I saw visions of chastisement, and a voice came binding me. I tell I too binding me, I too tell it to the sons of heaven, and reprimand them. And when I awaked, I came unto them, and they were all sitting gathered together, weeping in Abzajel, which is between Lebanon and Senzer. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it right. With their faces covered. And I recounted before them all the visions which I had seen in sleep. And it began to speak the words of righteousness, and reprimand the heavenly watchers, and to reprimand the heavenly watchers. That's pretty nice of Enoch. Well, no, they're begging for forgiveness, right? And he's like, all right, I'll do it, but, we'll see what happens. The book of the words of righteousness and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will say now. I saw in my sleep what I will now say with a tongue of flesh and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men to converse therewith and understand with the heart. All right, my throat's getting a little. Let me calm down a little bit. But I haven't read in a while, so that reading muscle is getting a little exhausted now. Which the Great One has given to man to converse with, as he has created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom, so hath he created me also, and give me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven. The fallen ones, though, I'm assuming he's referring to. I wrote out your petition. Yeah, the fallen ones, the ones who were sinning and now want a petition made for forgiveness. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared thus, that your petition would not be granted unto you throughout all the days of eternity. Yo, that's how much of a grave thing they did. That is interesting to know that they had regret. That is interesting to know. That they were aware of what they were going to do, aware of the consequences. Maybe they are aware of God, right? They know God. They know He's all forgiving, He's loving, right? But of course, He hates sin. God hates sin. Not necessarily the sinner, but He hates sin. And they did the gravest sin of all, corrupting what God, corrupting God's greatest creation, man. That's how much God loves us. He cannot forgive these watchers for corrupting His greatest creation. Corrupting His children. We're His God's children, His creation. And then these watchers come along and just defile His children, you know? It's making me realize that. Hmm. Now I'm reflecting on myself now. Forgiveness is hard. People who hurt you, you know, it's hard to forgive them. People who piss you off, it's hard to forgive them. And it's hard not to reciprocate, not to come back with the same energy, you know, that people give you. We want, a lot of times, speaking for myself, like, you know, I wish I could just do the same thing. I wish I could just wrong that person the way they wronged me, you know? It's unfair. You know, revenge. Revenge. It's just hard to forgive someone, you know? But I love reading this because it reminds me that, it just reminds me that it's not in our nature to be negative. We've been corrupted. I can't blame somebody, you know, for being a horrible person. Yeah, God gave us free will, but at the end of the day, there's a war going on for our souls, for our lives, for our souls, eternal life and eternal death. There's a war between that two. And we're caught in the crossfires. We all are, you know. We're all lied to by evil, by Satan and his army. We're all lied to by the father of lies. Satan, Lucifer, the devil. He's the father of lies. The father of truth is God, Jesus Christ. It's just a good reminder to step back and pray for somebody who wronged you, who's not nice to you, who you don't like, who you hate. It's hard to pray for the people you hate, you know? It's hard. Most of the time, I can't speak for everyone. Most of the time, you know, we just pray for ourselves. I pray for myself, what I want, what I need. But we never think about what other people need, you know, what other people are, you know, need help with. And we always, one thing I hear is, God, destroy the enemy. Destroy those who try to destroy me. It's like you're asking God to destroy human beings as well. Like, I've heard that a lot. Yeah, man, it's so hard. Okay, so he's saying that, you know, the petition is not granted. Judgment has finally passed upon you. Your petition will not be granted unto you. And from henceforth you shall not ascend into heaven unto all eternity. And in bounds on the earth, and the decree has gone forth to bind you for all the days of the world. And that previously you shall have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and ye shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword, and your petition on their behalf shall not be granted, nor yet on your own, even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in the writings which I have written. And the vision was shown to me thus. Behold, in the vision clouds invited me, and misted or summoned me, and mist summoned me, and the course of the stars and the lightnings sped and hastened me, and the winds in the vision caused me to fly, and lifted up me upwards, and bore me into heaven. And I went in till I drew high, till I drew nigh to the wall which is built of crystals and surrounded by tongues of fire. And it began to affright me. And I went into the tongues of fire and drew nigh to a large house which was built of crystals. And the walls of the house were like tessellated floor, made of crystals, and its groundwork was crystal. Its ceiling was like the path of the stars and the lightnings, and between them were fiery cherubims, the angels, I believe, and their heaven was clear as water. A flaming fire surrounded the walls, and its portals blazed with fire. And I entered into the house, and it was hot as fire and cold as ice. There were no delights of life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got hold of me. And as I quaked and trembled, I fell upon my face. And I beheld a vision. And lo, there was a second house, greater than the former. An entire portal stood open before me, and it was built of flames of fire. And in every respect it excelled in splendor and magnificence, and magnificence, an extent that I cannot describe to you, its splendor and its extent. As its floors was on fire, and above it were lightnings, and the path of the stars, and its ceilings also was flaming fire. And I looked and saw therein a lofty throne. Its appearance was as crystal, and the wheels thereof as the shining sun. And there was a vision of cherubim, and forth, sorry, and from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. And the great glory sat thereon, and his remnant shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could ever enter. None of the angels could enter and could behold his face by reason of the magnificence and the glory, and no flesh could behold him. The flaming fire was rounding him, and a great fire stood before him, and none around him could could draw nigh him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, yet he needed no counselor, and the most holy ones were nigh to him, did not leave by night, nor depart from him. And until then I had been prostrated on my face, trembling, and the Lord called me with his own mouth, and said to me, Come hither, Enoch, and hear my word. And one of the holy ones came to me and waked me, and he made me rise up and approach the door, and he bestowed my face downwards. The glory of God is what he's describing. The power of God, you know? Okay. And he answered and said to me, getting tired. And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, Fear not, Enoch, thou righteous man, and scribe of righteousness. Approach hither and hear my voice. And go, say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to intercede for them. You should intercede for men, and not men for you. Wait, that's a little confusing. And go say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to intercede for them. You should intercede for men, and not men for you. Yo, he's calling them out. Why are you having a man intercede for y'all angels, you watchers? Y'all should be doing that for man. I made you guys angels, protectors of what I created. This is when God caught on to their greed, to their pride. Because God knew like they were just trying to be their own gods. They wanted to be worshipped, right? Wow. But that's not what a true God is. A true God looks after, takes care of, guides. God took care of Adam and Eve. He gave them everything they needed. Anything they wanted, like they could ask him. And he'll help them, you know? Jesus Christ, like those who want to be first must be last. A king serves his people. A true king serves his people, protects his people. I mean, that's why God, so many parables about the shepherd, the good shepherd. A king, a true king, is a shepherd to his people. He guides his people, he protects his people from the wolves. He serves his people. That's serving his people. But of course, we're taught a king is somebody who's rich, who has servants, people kissing the ground they walk on, right? But Jesus, he was a true king. He served the people, he healed people. He didn't ask for anything in return, except for like one thing, which is to love one another as I have loved you. That's all I ask for is. So he called them out on it. He called them out on their greed, on their pride. And not meant for you. Wherefore have ye left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and defiled yourselves with daughters of men, and taken yourselves wives, and done like the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons. Yeah, so God is saying, telling these watchers through Enoch, of course, like I gave you guys everything. Heaven, you guys were in heaven, guys had it good, but you decided to go to earth and corrupt man for your own personal greed. And though ye were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, living the life in heaven, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh, and as of children of men, have lusted after flesh and blood, as those also do who die and perish. Therefore have I given them wives also, that they might impregnate them, and beget children by them, and thus nothing might be wanting to them on earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life, and immortal for all generations of the world. And therefore I have not appointed wives for you. For as for you, the spiritual ones of the heavens, in heaven is your dwelling. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on earth shall be the dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men. So these giants are half human and half spirit, divine, half divine. It reminds me of like Hercules being half human, half divine. What other people? So they possess strong spirits, right? I'm assuming they have powers. They have supernatural powers. These beings, right? Magic and all that stuff. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. Jeez. Shit. Sorry. Their beginning, primal origin. There shall be evil spirits on earth, and the evil spirits they shall be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits on earth, which were born upon the earth shall be their dwellings. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and do work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men, and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. So they don't need to eat, giants? They don't really need to consume and eat things? I'm assuming because they're half spirit. They mentioned this earlier too. When reading this, that let's go back to it because I really like that part. What they said. Comedy daughters, angels of heaven saw lusted after them. When they talked about consuming man, all their knowledge, their energy, their spirit, draining them. It reminds me of energy vampires. It's like a big thing that's like becoming very popular, very known now. Like energy vampires, people who feed off of energy. I'm assuming that's what these beings thrive off of, negativity, energy. They feed off of wars. That's probably why they taught humans war, weapons, how to make weapons, so they could feed off of all that violence. They did drink blood and they did consume human blood and animals and all that other stuff, but I'm assuming a lot of the power comes from negativity. A lot of their power, their energy, their consumption, their fuel. Crap. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants, from the souls of those from the souls of whose flesh the spirits, having gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment. Thus shall they destroy until the day of consummation. The great judgment in which the age shall come shall be consummated. Sorry. Over the watchers and the godless, ye shall be wholly consummated. And now as to the watchers who have sent thee to intercede for them, who have been aforetime in heaven, say to them, you have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones. Yeah. So he's pretty much saying you guys played yourselves. Like, that's not even all the knowledge, like, I have and know. Like, you guys don't even know half of what I've created, All the knowledge I've created. You guys just took the worthless ones, the whatever ones, the ones I just don't really care about. Like, The meaning is that's why he told Adam and Eve not to eat the tree of knowledge. It's pointless. You have everything you need. Food, each other. You don't need to worry about anything else. Literally, you have a relationship with me as well. Like you guys can come to me for anything. And of course, the knowledge when they ate it was vanity. I'm naked. I need to clothe myself. Other knowledge, all the knowledge that all these fallen angels taught humans, right? It's pointless because, like I'm saying, God's intention is not for us to live and die. It's just to live. Death came from the devil, sin, destruction, corruption. It's all from the devil. God's intention was never for us to be living beings that die. We're meant to live forever. And these in the harness, okay, you have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you. And you knew worthless ones. And these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women. And through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth. Say to them, therefore, you have no peace. I'm liking this book a lot. They're getting into some really, really, really good stuff. I'm I don't know why the King James Bible doesn't include this book. It's so important to know all this, to know why the tree of knowledge was, to know why, like the meaning behind all that, the kind of knowledge like God didn't want us learning. Like it was pointless to learn. And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wished, they appeared as men. And they brought me to the place of darkness, and to the mountain, the point of whose summit reached to the heaven. And I saw the places of the luminaries, and the treasuries of the stars, and of the thunder, and in the udder, and all the lightnings. Sorry, my throat's a little hurt. Let me see. And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And it came to a river. Wait, is they talking about Antarctica? And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. That sounds like Antarctica. Am I tripping? Because in Antarctica, the sun never goes down. Wait, I'm tripping. That's not what they mean, right? Setting of the sun. Oh, never mind. Right? I might be tripping. Fire of the West. Okay, that's a little weird. That reminds me of, I don't know why, but I just thought of that. And it came to a river of fire in which the fire flows like which the fire flows like the water and discharges itself into the great sea towards the west. I saw great rivers and came to the great river and to the great darkness and went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter and the place whence all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth and the mouth of the deep. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. And I saw how the winds stretched out the vaults of heaven, and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the Almost done with this section. Turn and bring the circumferences of the sun and all the stars to their setting. I saw the winds on the earth carrying clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw the end of the earth, the firmament of the heaven above. I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones. Magnificent stones. Ooh. Getting a little exhausted here reading. Crap. All right. Where was I? I'm gonna keep this on me. And I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. And as for those towards the east, one was of colored stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth. And those towards the south of red stone, but the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God, of alabaster. And the summit of throne was of sapphire. I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. The heavens were completed, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. And beyond the abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, no birds, but it was a waste, a horrible place. I saw their 7 stars like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heavens." Is this space? It sounds like they're referring to space in this. And the stars which roll over to the fire. It sounds like Mars or something. Am I tripping? Sounds like they're talking about planets right now. I don't know. That's what the vibe I'm getting from this. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed. They commanded the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth, bro, some of these words are so confusing to read. And he was wroth with them, and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years. Okay. Woo! And I gotta go to work today and talk to people, bruh. Hopefully my voice doesn't get messed up by the end of the day. And Uriel said to me, "Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods." Yo, see what I mean? And Uriel said to me, "Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand to the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they are made an end of. And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the end of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen. Yep. So all these fallen angels, all these gods are just demons. And these are the names of the holy angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels, who is over the world and over Tartarus. Tartarus? Sounds like Tartaria. Raphael, one of the holy angels, who's over the spirits of men. Raul, Raul, I think it's Raul, one of the holy angels who has takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Sacrel, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits, who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubims. Ramael, one of the holy angels whom God sent over those who rise. I'm a little confused on the roles for each of the angels. Who watch. Who watch. Uriel. I know Raphael, Michael, like some of the Gabriel are like three of the ones we always hear in the like New King James version of the Bible. A lot of these other ones I've never really heard of. Uriel, Raul. I want to say it's Raul. Raguel. Raul. Luminaries. Illuminati. I'm assuming that's what they're referring to. Or the luminaries, secret societies or something like that, right? Sacral is the spirit, the holy angel who is set over the spirits who sin in spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents. Best part of mankind and over chaos. Yeah, because Michael, he has the sword and shield, war. So he's the angel that helps us in war and everything, I assume. And I proceeded to where things were chaotic. And I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrific. And there I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it, like great mountains, and burning with fire. Fire. Ooh. Then I said, for what sin are they bound? And on what account have they been cast in hither? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, and was chief over them, and said, Enoch, why dost thou ask? And why art thou eager for the truth? These are of the number of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and are bound here till the 10,000 years. The time entailed by their sins are consummated. And from hence I went to another place, which was still more horrible than the former, and I saw horrible things, a great fire which burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. Neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I, Uriel, then I said, how fearful is the place, and how horrible to look upon. Then Uriel answered me, Enoch, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, Why thou why hast thou such fear and affright? And I answered, because of this eternal fearful place. Because of this fearful place. Sorry. Woo. Woo. A lot of reading. Where was I? Prison. Uh, Sorry, I missed my spot. Then Uriel answered me, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, why hast thou such fear and fright? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said unto me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever. Oh, so they have their own prison? I thought we were all going to go to the same place as the angels, the demons, right? I could be wrong. And thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain, and of hard rock, and there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at? How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at? Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should be assembled therein. Ye that all the souls of children of men should assemble here, and these places have been made to receive them till the day of judgment, and till their appointed period, to the period appointed. Oh, this is on purgatory, till the great judgment comes upon them. I saw the spirits of children of men who were dead, and their voices went forth to heaven and made suit. Then I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said unto him, the spirits, whose is it whose voice goes forth and maketh suit? And he answered me, saying, this is the spirit which went from Abel, which went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slain. And he makes his suit against him, till his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from among the seed of men. Then I asked regarding it, and regarding all the hollow places. Now, okay, why did so Abel, or from Abel, whom his brother to this why are they separated from the others? Why as one separated from the other? And he answered me and said unto me, these 3 have been made the spirits of the dead might be separated. And such a division has been made for the spirits of righteousness, in which there are the bright spring of water. And such has been made for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirits shall be set apart, in the great pain to the great day of judgment, and punishment and torment of those who curse forever, and retribution for their spirits. There he shall bind them forever. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners. Such has been made for the spirit of men who are not righteous, but sinners, who were complete in transgression. And of the transgressors there shall be companions, but their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from thence. From thence. Then I blessed the Lord glory and said, Blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who ruleth forever. That was a little confusing. I'm most likely gonna have to read that again to understand it a little more. But there's different places for different people. Places for people who are sinners, those who have been slain. That was a little confusing with Abel. I might look up a video to explain that. That's chapter 21. From thence I went to another place to the west of the ends of the earth, and I saw a burning fire which ran without resting, and paused not from this course day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, saying, What is with this which rests not? Then Raoul, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me, and said unto me, This course of fire which thou hast seen is the fire in which the west, which persecutes all the luminaries of heaven. I don't know what a luminary is. And from thence I went to another place of earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire, which burnt day and night. And I went beyond it and saw 7 magnificent mountains. Jeez. All differing from each other. And stones thereof were magnificent. Jeez, I can't even. And beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of glorious appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, one founded on the other, and 3 towards the south, one upon the other, and deep rough ravines, no one, no one of which joined with another. Whoa. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in the height, resembling the seat of the throne. Fragrant trees encircled the throne, and amongst them was a tree such as I had never yet smelt. Neither was any among them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrances, and its leaves and blooms and wood wither not forever. And its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, How beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then answered Michael, one of the holy, honored angels, who was with me, and was their leader. And he said to me, Enoch, why dost thou ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree? And why dost thou wish to learn the truth? And I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, This high mountain, which thou hast seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the Holy Great One, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and holy. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. It should be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. Then shall they rejoice with joy and be glad. And in the holy place shall they enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones, and they shall live long life on earth, such as thy fathers lived. And in their days shall no sorrow or plague or torment or calamity touch them. Then blessed I the God of glory, the eternal King, who hath prepared such things for righteous and hath created them, and promised to give them. And I went from thence to the middle of the earth, and I saw a blessed place in which they were, trees with branches abiding and blooming, of the dismembered tree. And there I saw a holy mountain, and underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain, higher than this, and between them deep and narrow ravine. In it also ran a stream underneath the mountain. And to the west thereof there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of small elevation, and the ravine deep and dry between them. Another deep and dry ravine was the extremities of the three mountains, and all the ravines were deep and narrow, being formed of hard rock, and the trees were not planted upon them. And I marveled at the rocks, and I marveled at the ravine. Yea, I was marveled very much. It said yeah, I think. YEA, yeah. Then said I, for what object is the blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees, and this accursed valley between? Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said, this accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. Here they shall be accursed, be gathered together, who utter with their lips against the Lord unseemingly words, and of his glory speak hard things. Here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their place of judgment. In the last days there shall be upon them spectacle of righteous judgment. Sorry, I keep saying righteousness. In the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the merciful bless the Lord of glory, eternal King. In the days of judgment over the formal, they shall bless him for the mercy in accordance with. He has assigned them their lot. Then I blessed the Lord glory, and set forth his glory, and lauded him gloriously. And thence I went towards the east, in the midst of the mountain range of the desert, and I saw a wilderness, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants, and water gushed forth towards the north west. It caused clouds and dew to ascend in every side. Gushed forth from above, water course which flowed. And thence I went to another place in the desert, and approached to the east of this mountain range. There I saw aromatic trees exhaling the fragrance of frankincense and myrrh, and the trees also were similar to the almond tree. And beyond these I went afar to the east, and I saw another place, a valley full of water, and therein there was a tree, and the color of fragrant trees, such as the mastic. And on the sides of those valleys I saw a fragrant cinnamon, and beyond those I proceed to the east. Oof. And I saw other mountains, and amongst them were groves of trees, and they flowed forth from them nectar, and its name Sarara, I don't know how to spell that, and Galabadam. Whoa! And beyond these mountains I saw another mountain, to the east of the ends of the earth, whereon were all olive trees, and all the trees were full of stack, full of Stacy, stats. I don't know how to pronounce that. Being like almond trees, smells sweeter. After these fragrant odors, as I looked towards the and after these fragrant odors, as I looked towards the north over the mountain, I saw even 7 mountains. Another 7 mountains. 7 mountains full of choice and nard and fragrant trees and cinnamon and pepper. And thence I went over the summits of all these mountains, far towards the east of the earth, and passed above the Etherian Sea, and went far from it, and passed over the angel Sotil, and I came to the garden of righteousness. I and from off I and from afar off trees more nu- I am from afar off trees more numerous than I these trees and great two trees there. What? Very great, beautiful, and glorious, and magnificent. And the tree of knowledge, whose holy fruit they eat and know great wisdom. That that tree is in the height like the fir, and the leaves are like of carob tree, and its fruits. They're just talking about a bunch of plants. Then Raphael, the holy angel who was with me, answered me, "This is the tree of wisdom, of which thy father, old in years, and thy aged mother, who before thee have eaten and learnt wisdom, and their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they were driven out of the garden." Oh, this was Adam and Eve. So this is the location of the tree, the knowledge. It sounds like the garden then of. And from thence I went to the ends of the earth and saw their great beasts, and each different from the other. And I saw birds also, differing in appearance and beauty and voice, the one differing from the other. And to the east of those beasts I saw the ends of the earth, whereon the heaven rests, and the portals of the heaven open. And I saw how the stars of heaven came forth, and I counted the portals out of which they proceeded, and wrote down all their outlets of each individual star by itself, according to the number, and their names, and their courses, and their positions, and their times, and their mouths, as Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, showed me. He showed me all things to me, and wrote them down for me. Also their names he wrote for me, and their laws and their companies. And from thence I went towards the north, to the ends of the earth, and there I saw a great and glorious device at the ends of the whole earth. And here I saw the three portals of heaven open in the heaven. Through each of them proceeded north winds. Then they blowed there in cold, hail, frost, snow, dew, and rain. And out of one portal they blow for good, but when they blow through the other two portals, it was with violence and affliction on the earth, and they blow with violence. And from thence I went towards the west to the ends of the earth, and saw there three portals of heaven open such as I had seen in the east, a number of portals, and the same number of outlets. And from thence I went towards the south to the ends of the earth, and saw three more portals, open portals of the heaven. And thence there came dew, rain, and wind. And from thence I went to the east heaven open, and small portals. Jeez. That's the end of section 1. Woo! My throat hurts. I'm going to end it pretty quickly. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all later. I like it a lot so far. A lot of explanation. I like it.